me back to the place I know, with the mystery shack and the forest gnomes. I'm already packed, so come on, let's go. Don't get me started, my heart's in Gravity Falls.
Welcome to Mystery Shack Look Back, a nostalgic time capsule and no-spoiler book club of the original Gravity Falls fandom. We are your curators. I'm Charlie.
I'm Ella.
Ella, what is the weirdest dream you've ever had?
Well, do you have an answer?
Yeah, I had one I was thinking about today.
All right. What's that one?
It's a very normal dream, and that's why I think about it so often, because it's almost difficult to realize it didn't happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream. There was a local theater doing a play about the Beatles.
Yeah.
And what I realized was I'm not that good at singing, but I'm really good at voice matching.
Mm-hmm.
And Ringo is the funniest, has the most specific voice, and sings the least song. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go in for Ringo.
Yeah.
So again, this is a dream. This didn't really happen. But I studied the accent real hard and watched every interview with him until like I had the best Ringo Starr voice ever.
Yeah.
Went into audition, and apparently I did the Liverpool accent better than anyone, so they wanted to have me as John, which meant I sang 60% of the songs.
Oh, no.
Which made me really anxious, and then I woke up. Still anxious.
And you had a perfect Liverpool accent when you woke up and you couldn't turn it off.
Okay, and I've been using it ever since.
Yeah. I guess for me, I don't know, this isn't the weirdest, this is just kind of one that reminded me, The best part of the dream was that, so basically this is another theater related dream, which is why it reminded me. I dreamt that I was on Broadway in Beetlejuice specifically. I don't know what I was doing. At some point I had missed a cue or gone on when I was not supposed to, and I was led into the hallway, and I knew I was about to be let go. And so in the dream, I realized it was a dream, and I sort of soul lifted out of my own body, like that gif of Winnie the Pooh's soul leaving his body, and I left my body, I entered a horizontal position, I rose up out of the ceiling, and I landed in my body in bed, and I woke up. I quit the dream. I just consciously exited the dream because I knew something.
You're like, oh, I don't want to be in this situation. I love that your dream is about having an opportunity and botching it, and mine is about being given a way bigger opportunity than I asked for because I accidentally outperformed others. I have constant dreams where I'm just telling people, like, well, it doesn't matter, this is a dream, and they're all reacting realistically, like, okay, yeah, sure, dude.
That sounds really weird. Don't you know that we all have, like, real lives and thoughts and feelings and families, and we all die when you wake up?
That's one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes.
Oh, yeah.
So, today we're talking about Dipper versus Manliness. It's an episode of Gravity Falls, and not the Twilight Zone.
Are you sure about that?
The episode of Twilight Zone you're thinking of is Bill Shatner versus Manliness, in which he rips his shirt off and fights it.
Yeah, I think he wins.
There's something on the wing, something, and it's Manliness, and I'm gonna go punch it!
Imagine, if you will, the very concept of manliness.
And William Shatner punching it in the face.
I really don't know what we're going for with this one, but wouldn't that be f***ed up? Yeah, so Dipper versus Manliness.
It's the 6th episode of Season 1. It premiered July 20th, 2012.
All right, let's go fight Manliness.
All Dipper ever wanted. You see this chest hair? Oh, my eyes! Was the chance.
This thing must be broken. It's totally broken, guys.
To be a man.
Are you some kind of minotaur?
Minotaur! Half man, half tour!
Next Friday night.
Beasts! I have brought you a hairless child!
What's up?
He'll practice. He'll train. And he'll prepare himself for the ultimate battle.
I shall conquer the multi-bear! I'm okay.
Brace yourself for an all-new Gravity Falls.
To victory!
Next Friday at 9:30, 8:30 Central, part of Night of Premieres on Disney Channel.
We just watched Dipper versus Manliness.
Yeah, we sure did. Is the streak broken? I know we keep immediately coming off the episode saying that was a good episode, but
Do you like this one?
I like it. I do. I really do.
Yeah, so right before the finale of Gravity Falls aired, me and a friend challenged ourselves to watch every episode in one sitting. I remember this is the one I fell asleep during. And I remember at another point I tried to watch a bunch of episodes in one sitting, and this was the one I started to zone out or look at my phone during. And I never really understood why until I listened to the DVD commentary.
This episode almost killed me. Like, I was so frustrated with how this episode came out. And
Really?
Yes. And in retrospect, I don't have a problem with it. You know, if there's a spectrum where on one end you have X-Files, which is real and scary and spooky, you know, and on another end you have Fairly Odd Parents, I think that the tone of this is not the tone of Gravity Falls. This is a show about urban legends, not a show about just like pro wrestler cow monsters walking around and calling each other bro. You know, I remember so far as going to the executives and being like, can we just like not air an episode? Can we just like not play it?
It got to that point.
And I recently went back and watched it, and it's like got some great jokes in it.
Yeah,
it's very
so
sweet.
fun.
So even Alex Hirsch himself had big issues with this episode at one point in time.
Your ideal Gravity Falls episode has an emotionality and a mystery. There is something going on with the relationships of these core characters, and there is something going on with the secrets of the town, and they are resolved at once. This episode sorta has that.
I would argue has the emotionality.
It has the emotionality. There definitely is an arc where Dipper has a problem that has been it's not created for this episode.
Yeah. Specifically, it's that he's feeling inadequate about his lack of manliness, you know.
Yes. You were pushed very hard to be manly from a very young age, which is unattainable for a 12-year-old. Like, have you ever been like, yo, that's one manly 12-year-old?
No, I don't think such a thing exists.
So as an adult, I have not had an experience of thinking that a 12-year-old is manly. But as a 12-year-old, I definitely had experiences of being mocked for being effeminate. So it almost feels like the development into manhood is enforced rather than natural. And to be upfront, I'm non-binary. Ella is a trans woman. I think we have not said that on this show. You probably pieced it together at one point.
Yeah, probably.
I remember my reaction to the episode watching it the first time back in 2013 or 2012.
Okay.
I was 19. Dipper at the end gets his first chest hair. And I distinctly recall thinking, wait, that could happen at 12? Because at the time,
yeah,
I had not grown my first chest hair.
Yeah, so they capture that interesting emotional conflict in this episode, at least like they are starting to dive into it more specifically. And they do tie that into something vaguely supernatural with these characters called Manitars who are, you know, minotaurs, but they're very manly.
There's nothing magical about them.
No.
I would say if I were to place one thing that they do, which is beyond the capabilities of a human, they do have a pit filled entirely with the concept of pain.
Yeah, that's pretty magical. And the pacing of it also sets this episode apart, because we've had 5 episodes now where there is a relatively slow-built mystery, and the thing is not revealed until the 3rd act, and this is the first time where we just meet the Manitars, like, at the end of the 1st act. I think I agree with where Alex Hirsch is now about this episode. He specifically says, like, in hindsight, I don't have a problem with it. And I think that's probably where I land, where it's like, it feels very different. I don't think it's a bad episode.
There's some great moments that I forgot were this episode.
Oh, yeah.
As we were queuing it up on Disney Plus, I just noticed the sentence is going to rhyme. Okay, we're going to have to roll with it. As we were queuing it up on Disney Plus, Ella said, I got hit by a bus. And I was like, oh, is this episode? Never mind. I changed my mind. It's amazing.
Yeah.
As it opens, we get the first moment where Will Forte gets to show off his comedic chops as the cute biker that we keep seeing. Previously, all he has said is get him. And he actually gets a comedy scene.
It's really good.
where he is just window shopping at the Mystery Shack, asking about every single item. And they decide that it is easier to lock him inside and go out to lunch.
Puma shirt, Panther shirt. Puma shirt, Panther shirt. Puma shirt. Panther shirt.
I had no doubt in my mind that he was fine. I thought he'd be perfectly okay.
No, he did. There's no way he noticed. They got back from the diner.
We get to see more of Greasy's Diner, which we saw briefly in, I believe, Tourist Trap. Greasy's Diner, we have food. You know the place. And I love that when we're there, we see all of these, like, established townsfolk that I hadn't really thought about until this viewing. Like, there's some of the teens from The Inconveniencing. There's, Blubs and Derlin, the police officers. And Free Pizza Guy.
I had completely forgotten about Old Man McGucket's caffeine addiction.
Oh, yep. Old Man McGucket is in there, too. Yeah, and it's I think it's entirely people we've already met, which is really cool, showing how we are slowly learning about everyone in town, and now we recognize everyone.
Manly Dan has shown up 3 times. The first time to beat a fish to death.
Oh, yeah, but the other 2 times he's beating up respective Manly video games. And this is our episode where we get a proper intro to Lazy Susan, a woman who works at the diner, voiced by the wonderful Jennifer Coolidge, who I guess is most famous for Legally Blonde. I'm not actually sure, but she's in Legally Blonde as the hairdresser, and that's a pretty popular role.
Oh, I love that role. I actually recall watching the musical and being like, this would be my role. That's who I would play.
Yeah, she's great in the film version. And she is, like, maybe the best part of this entire episode.
Oh my god, she's so good. Almost her first line is Stan asking what she's been up to, and her just proudly exclaiming,
I got hit by a bus!
And then laughing a weirdly long time.
And that was apparently an ad-lib by Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, the awkwardly long laugh, like she was only scripted to laugh, and then she was like, let me just drag it out.
The Manitars are all voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, John DiMaggio, and Alex Hirsch, which I find very amazing. There's a whole species and 3 voices between them.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Hirsch voices all of the gnomes, so if you can accept a species that has 1 voice.
And I love that, you have John DiMaggio, who basically came into fame because he's your perfect frat boy. Mm-hmm. You have Kevin Michael Richardson, who got into acting because James Earl Jones scared him on Sesame Street. And then you have Alex doing this weird Macho Man Randy Savage-ish voice that's really squeaky.
Yeah, when it cracks, it really stands out in a very funny way.
It's Beardy.
I guess while we're talking about voice actors, we get almost the first celebrity guest.
Yes.
This was before Last Week Tonight, so John Oliver, who was Wax Sherlock, wasn't super well known at the time. And again, Will Forte is famous, but not a guest, is a background voice actor here. So we get Alfred Molina as the voice of the Multi-Bear. Alfred Molina is probably best known as Science Squid in Spider-Man 2.
Try something else.
Dr. Octopus.
Crap.
Doctor Strange.
That's pretty good. But it's taken. Wait, I got it. Dr. Octopus.
But I like it.
Of course you do.
The duties fell on Michael Rianda to voice direct him, who tells the story.
Alfred Molina came in, who is like a respected, great actor. I'm like, look, Alfred Molina, you're great, Boogie Nights, love it. Today you're gonna be playing a bear, and you're like a bear made out of other bears, and like the hands are bears, and then the little, like, his head is a bear, but his neck is a bear too, and he's like, I'll just go in and do it then. Like, he's like, I don't want to hear your madness.
I do love the Multi-Bear, though. He's a fantastic character. And he's a real... I have to assume that as intimidating as he is, he's a great sport with reading these very silly lines, because he does it magnificently.
Bearheads, silence!
Much as last time, we had a B-plot in which Grunkle Stan does something funny. Here we have another good Grunkle Stan does something funny B-plot. We have Mabel try to basically make over Grunkle Stan and help him get a date with Lazy Susan. And Gungle Stan is almost resistant to social skills or beautification.
I think he's physically resisting the makeover. He is, like, impossible to make over.
She takes a before shot to track his progress. He has just gotten consistently worse.
And when she shaves him, the hair immediately comes back up.
There is a makeover montage, as is necessary per the trope, which is combined with a training montage, and that is all set to a sound-alike of Eye of the Tiger. Do you want to play the song?
Yeah, let's play the song.
Let's play the song!
When a tiger roars and the mountain cries, you gotta dream the dream, you gotta win the prize, you gotta go the miles, you gotta face the trials. Never lose sight of the sights you see, you gotta believe your beliefs are real. Now you're drinking from a fire hydrant, teach your uncle how to wear a cummerbund. Now you're gonna jump a crazy gorge, keep on shaving that hairy uncle. I don't really know what's happening in this part. Oh, your heart's on fire and the fire is in your heart.
Which has guest vocals by Jess Harnell, best known for the voice of Wacko. Oh, it did tie together. My story at the beginning of practicing the Ringo voice.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were doing.
No, I just pulled up something random.
That was magical.
So Jess Harnell is best known as the voice of Wacko on Animaniacs, but also is in a metal pop mashup group called Rock Sugar. He's the vocalist, and his singing for that group is identical to how he sings this song. So this is more of a Rock Sugar cameo than an Animaniacs cameo. And here is just a quick sample of a Rock Sugar song so you can hear what I'm talking about.
Anywhere the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. To me. Yeah. But you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, a big disgrace, kicking your can all over.
We also get another iconic song and fan favorite moment in this episode, which is the reveal that Dipper enjoys listening to top 40 pop hits, specifically the Icelandic pop group BABA and their song Disco Girl, which is, of course, an elaborate parody of ABBA and Dancing Queen.
We only hear a brief clip of it here. However, recently, very recently, almost not
yet. There's this group, I Am 8-Bit, and they are going to release a Gravity Falls vinyl soundtrack next year.
And they, as a preview, they released the full version of Disco Girl. I will play a clip of that.
Disco girl, coming through, that girl is you. It's the year 1972, and that girl is you. You can sing, you can shimmer, rocks on the menu, and discos for dinner. Disco girl, coming through, that girl is you. Don't come in, don't come in!
I think not only is it really funny, but it's also kind of the thing that ties together the emotional arc of the episode, because when Dipper is given his last task of manliness to kill the multi-bear, he realizes that the multi-bear also loves the song Disco Girl and gets made fun of for liking it, and has this moment of realization that, like, maybe it's okay to, like, express yourself in the way that you want to.
I'm not super comfortable with the fact that the Manitars wanted to murder him for not conforming to masculine standards. That's weird.
I mean, that's, like, how it is in real life, like, unfortunately.
I know, and that was a little too real for my stupid gnome show.
Yeah, a little too close to home for a non-binary person and a trans woman, maybe. But no, he rejects it. He rejects the idea of killing anything that is not conforming to toxic masculinity.
Yes, and comes to learn that what's really manly is defining manhood your own way.
Which I like. I don't know, I feel like they could have stuck the landing a little bit better with the resolution. It just kind of feels like, I don't know, maybe they don't go deep enough, maybe they don't have time to go deep enough, they probably weren't thinking about it that deeply anyway. I think for what it is, it's good. I don't know, how do you feel about it?
Stan's B-plot, Mabel decides all women love a project, so if she just gives Stan to a woman as is and says, see what you could do with this, they can't resist.
Yeah, and it's interesting to have that kind of gender story happening on the side of this one. I don't know if they necessarily undermine each other, but there's some kind of interaction there.
Both of them learn it's okay to be themselves. Dipper, because there's no real right or wrong way to be manly, and Stan, because there's no point. It's fine.
It's impossible to fix you, so you might as well just remain broken. We actually have Grunkle Stan right here. What do you have to say, Grunkle Stan?
Ladies and gentlemen, right this way to the Hall of Conspiracy.
Classic. This guy.
Right this way to the Hall of Conspiracy.
Oh, he's a riot. I can't with this guy. So this is a pretty dry episode as far as mysteries go. I did find on gravityfallsconspiracies.tumblr.com one thing that kind of correlates to stuff that goes down in this episode, because we see Blubs and Durlin, the cops, at the beginning, and right before Dipper meets the Manitor, where they are,
getting naked.
Not investigating so much as passively observing a broken fire hydrant, and yes, then getting naked, immediately.
They are also using police equipment to judge a pancake eating contest.
That's true, they are. Well, to win a pancake eating contest, obviously. They don't play around.
Maybe Blubs is entered in a like a professional eating competition, and Durland is helping him train.
He's sort of a coach. I like that. It's a good headcanon.
So the theory is that Gravity Falls police is intentionally useless, so the town's mysteries stay covered up.
And it kind of makes sense to me when you look at this episode. It's very loose, but during the montage, there is, like, a scene where the Manitors are helping Dipper drink out of a fire hydrant, so it is kind of implied that they were the ones breaking the fire hydrants, but also the entire fire hydrant thing is just a setup to the joke of them getting naked, so I don't know if it actually matters at all.
As well as they're pondering who's been destroying the fire hydrants, but the Manitors don't wait till night. They don't hide in shadow.
That's the thing, yeah. The Manitors aren't a mystery to cover up. They don't cover themselves up.
They are people.
Yeah.
They are just straight up people. They live in a cave, but, like, other than that.
They allude to knowing other magical creatures that actually are mysterious, but...
I will say, the police being intentionally useless so the town's mysteries stay covered up is a plot point in Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, which a lot of people drew parallels to with Gravity Falls.
Came out the same year, didn't it?
I believe it came out 2010, so I believe 2 years earlier.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
But yes, in 2010, there aired a cartoon about a tourist trap town full of fake mysteries where there was real paranormal things going on.
Yes.
As well as, we get the cryptogram. Mr. Caesarian will be out next week. Mr. Atbash will substitute. So that is in reference to the Atbash cipher.
Right. So for this thus far, the whisper at the beginning of the episode has been 3 letters back, referring to the Caesar cipher, which is what you use to decode these end credits cryptograms.
They're going to throw a wrench in the works. They're going to be like, oh, if you want these mysteries, you got to work harder for them.
So they are changing it up on us. They are using the Atbash cipher, and I guess we'll find out what the heck that means.
I'm ready to bash at it cipher. If you want to find more episodes of this podcast, go to our host network, pipedreampodcast.com, where you can find other shows like Escape from Walt Disney, How Did This Not Get Made, and Come On, Fahuquapods.
While you're there, you can find links to our show's social medias and Discord server. You can also contact us at mysteryshacklookback@gmail.com. Send us your fan theories from the time, your experiences in the fandom, your fan art, your cosplay, anything you got to contribute to our time capsule.
Your chest hair.
Yeah, send us your chest hair. We never miss a scrapbook opportunity.
I would like to thank Brian for making the instrumental for our theme and for voicing Stan in the Hall of Conspiracies intro, and Simon the Dimbulb V2-0.tumblr.com for making the instrumental of the Hall of Conspiracies intro. And New York, please give a round of applause for the musical stylings of Ella Cesare!
Take me back to the place I know with the mystery shack and the forest gnomes. I'm already packed, so come on, let's go. Don't get me started. My heart's in gravity falls. Oh, thank you, oh my god. And thank you, viewers like you.